Welcome, everybody, to the new Moon in Sagittarius live stream. I hope this is working. I haven't done one of these in a very long time, to be honest with y'all. But I'm really excited to hop into this today. I'm in a very different space of life than I feel like I was when I first started out going live to begin with. I'm just checking this. I hope this is cool. Word. Just want to make sure that it sounded good on my side, but aside from that, um, here we are. It's a new moon in Sagittarius. I also never did a live stream while standing up before, so this is going to be fun. And also, if you see me looking down, I have the live chat in front of me as well, just to be able to look and see what we have going on. Now, I probably should have been more preemptive and ended up giving you all the links and make a full description and stuff, but like, I really wanted to, one, be in the spur of the moment, two, really kind of celebrate what the new moon in Sagittarius even is about. And who better to explain the new moon in Sagittarius than someone who was born under it? So, welcome to the last big lunation live stream of this year. And not only that, without further ado, I really just want to say thank y'all. And I appreciate you all for holding space for me. I feel like this was like one of the first years out of my now 7 years of doing this. When I looked it up, that's trippy. Um but it's just been such a beautiful, blessed, weird, uncanny, strange, lovely, hot, sexy journey thus far. You know what I'm saying? And like, I really tried my best to chronicle these transitions on YouTube. And to be honest with y'all, as a new moon in Sag, one of the biggest things that I really was trying to, bring to the table for everyone is that like all your dreams are possible as long as you're willing to like follow the actual vision through. With that being said, did I ever think that I was going to become an astrologer to the capacity that I am now when I was younger? Not at all. But it's like certain things find you when you just continue to follow what it is that you feel, what it is that you see. And that's what this new moon in Sagittarius is really about. I would honestly use this new moon directly as a true vision board moment or a vision board situation for how you want your 2026 to go. Because let's face it, 2025 was trash. Throw it in the trash. Did not have a good time in terms of how this year worked, this year operated. Everything just had a very, there's a lot of letting go that had to be done. There's a lot of like losing yourself into yourself. There was so many different philosophies sprouting, taking form, being seen. The state of the world has been crazy, you know what I'm saying? And like, it hasn't stopped. And because of the constant need for me to kind of keep up with the times and to deliver content and to like know what was happening and being current, I had just gotten overwhelmed with the internet response while also having to deal with my real life response, so to speak. So I ended up very much letting myself immerse into the regular world or normal quote unquote world or the non-spiritual world for a while, just to kind of see and feel out like what was really going on, talking directly to the people, really like trying to get a sense of what was going on outside of astrology. Just like, how are people feeling? What are people going through? What are they seeing? How are they relating to the shifts in culture, the shifts in technology, the shifts in the job market, the shifts in spirituality, life, love, the pursuit of happiness, all of that. And what I've kind of come across in terms of, I don't want to say it's like an end result particularly, but what I've really just come across is that like, even the person at the highest level that you can think of in terms of like money, success, etc., they're going through something. Trust me, I be reading for these people. And on the other side, people are be like, hey, I'm finally getting through the ground. I'm finally making a little something, and you could have come from nothing. And this is just like a huge dichotomy of like, I guess the best way to put it is like seeing people for how people just operate their daily lives in a way that was very like not astrology oriented. It was a real privilege in a sense to also be able to like know how to utilize and tap into both worlds at any given point, right? So obviously I still did astrology this entire time. I still did readings. I still did stuff like that. I do content for Keen Psychics and astrology.com. So you've probably seen that content on Instagram. But I'm really just excited as I'm leaning into this new moon. And you're watching me have a new moon in Sagittarius like moment and thought process. Because the world is vast and people are strange. I love this quote. I don't know if I made it up. I think people are strange is definitely a Jim Morrison quote. But the idea of just how we live and operate has vastly changed because of culture, because we've learned new things. Like there is nothing under the sun you can't get on your computer and learn right now at this very second. Whether it be astrology, whether it be something that you randomly thought about on a Tuesday. Like we are at a point of access and information that has never been seen before. And because of that, the human pulse of what's going on the other side is a little bit more confused, right? How many people think their jobs can just easily be replaced by either like people more qualified or people who may not be in the same space from you or maybe from a different country, right? How many people have you come across that have just had a certain like energy that has just changed? Or I just think that there's so much pain that's been going on in the world right now that people are finally starting to like see how important it is for themselves to be themselves, to tap into what they believe in, right? There's been a huge semblance in surfacing of people trying to go more offline than ever. There's been people who have been very anti social media. Like, let's get off of this. Let's not deal with any of this technology. Let's not deal with anything else. And I just think the split in how this is going on in terms of the phenomena is just showing you that like within all of these situations and all these things that I'm kind of mentioning and kind of stirring your imagination with, right? Everyone's doing something. So why aren't you following your something? We can spend our lives completely paralyzed by the idea of like wanting to see what everyone else is doing, wanting to understand where everything else is going on, wanting to see who did this and how did they become who they are, versus really tapping into your own quest line, really tapping into your own space, your own journey, your own rendition of what life is, right? The reason why I kind of exist and live my life as a mythical figure, so to speak, right, is because I feel like everything that I've done, at least in the past 6 years of me like being an astrologer and trying to not just show you and tell you what's going on in the stars, but also like give you a real rendition of trying to embody these things. I feel like real freedom comes from allowing yourself to live in your philosophy and allow it to grow over time. There's some things that you're not going to be ready for. There's some things that there's always going to be things that are going to trip you up on the way. Always. I think that's the biggest thing I learned this year. There's always going to be something. Doesn't matter how good you have it. Doesn't matter how high up, etc. There's always some type of roadblock. There's always some type of obstacle. And that's literally the universe is basically asking you, are you sure? And so this new moon in Sagittarius, I need you, in my personal thought, to like see yourself as the hero of your story, as the actual main character, not of the world, not of the universe. I'm not saying that you have to go outside and look at some person and be like, I am better than you. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying, however, is that like we've been taught to decentralize our experience through the eyes and lenses of everyone else that's around us. And we do this subconsciously. You know, like how many times have you tried something that you knew that wasn't going to work, but you wanted to appease something? Or how many times have you like let your guard down just in order for somebody to give you an opinion, and maybe that opinion hurts you in the longer run? This new moon in Sagittarius is genuinely like the pocket of time that I would say for you to really highlight and look at the philosophies of what you've been dealing with this year, the philosophies of the people that you've been dealing with, what kind of people, your bosses you've had, relationships you've had, flings you've had, friends you've had. Like look at where everyone's mind was coming from and see how you kind of relate to it now, right? I think the best part about being a Sagittarius, in my personal opinion, is that like I carry everything along as I go, but like I just keep moving forward, right? And I think that that's something that gets understated with the Sagittarian kind of like, haha, we know how to have a great time. It's like, no, Sagittarians understand how to like carry pain in a way that you could never be this funny and have to hold this much of the collective consciousness thing. You get what I'm saying? That's in my Saggies though, that's us. But what I will say too, the biggest thing about this entire new moon in Sag, to get a little bit more into the astrology, thank you for dealing with my ramble. I was nervous getting on here. But the main thing about this new moon that I really want to point out to y'all is that this new moon is taking place at the master degree of Sag, but also on the galactic center point. Now, I forgot which scene I ended up making for this. I think it's this one. Yes. Okay, cool. So just to kind of show y'all something, this is a thing I've been working on for a while now, right? And the idea behind this is that this is how I kind of make all of my notes, right? Now, what I ended up doing and what I'll be sending over to you all who are on the newsletter, right, is that this is going to be a full guide. This is how I look at stuff before I end up even coming to work with you all or interact with everybody else. Like I've been doing this kind of thing for years. I just learned how to make it pretty as I do. And what I want to kind of start doing is just share with y'all the like real astrologers kind of like thought process and how like that happens, how that comes to be, how all the information starts to like sync and sit in. So just to let you know, for those of you who aren't subscribed to my newsletter, Under the Stars We Wander, what are you doing? It's going to be over here on my website at the very top, as you see, Under the Stars We Wander. And for those of y'all who are looking to get a reading, well, I'm fully locked in. We get to sit down. We are having the last bits of this sale that I have going on. So we have between the Soul Code session, the 2026 astrology report, which has been a very fun time. We're going through the entire year. So if you want to know what's going on in year 2026, pull up for that. And then we also have my favorite thing recently, the Hero's Journey intuitive ebook, which is actually going to look, if you might guess, closer to this now. So this is something that I've definitely been working on for like quite some time. This is part of why I've been kind of on my more quietness, is because I've been trying to really bridge together this idea between the things that I love graphically, the information that I have, my intuition, and also just like my technical ability to be able to kind of give you all this, right? So I'm very excited to continue the journey forward. And I swear, like each and every one of y'all who I've come across, who I've talked to, who is in the live streams, like y'all influenced this path and this journey, and I'm glad to be a part of yours as much as you are of mine. So I want to kind of like spread a little love, hit a little Sagittarian ramble about just the ninth housery of of it all, so to speak, right? But to start to kind of dig in a little bit more, I do have the astrology up. I do have some cards to pull. I do have some plans for the future, and I also have a really cool wow, what was I gonna do? Man, that would have been so cool if I kept that same. No, that's not it. Yeah, there we go. This is the rendition of the chart that's happening right now for this upcoming new moon, which is pretty much now. So the new moon, and the moon is in Sagittarius. So the sun and moon is in Sagittarius. Right now, I believe the moon is like very early degrees. But by the time it gets to, and let me just double check this for you. By the time it gets to the 19th of December, about 5 p.m. PST in Los Angeles time, that's when we end up hitting this point, right? So to kind of start to give you some credence as to what's going on and what I have been yapping about, let me show you. So basically, right now we have this 28 degree. I totally messed that up. I thought I framed that right. One sec, y'all. Man. I'm still getting used to standing and teaching again. That's been fun. Anyway, but essentially, without getting too extra, the sun, moon, Juno, Venus, all are conjunct on this time frame. So we're having a Sagittarius stellium. So that's where the gap came from. But what I will say, at the master degree of Sagittarius, you need to like, how do I put this? At the master degree of Sagittarius, if you don't believe anything is possible, you'll never make it. And I'm telling you this is like, if you don't believe that everything is possible and anything that you do will turn out for the best, you are not going to make it. And like, it's an attitude shift. It's an attitude adjustment. It's this feeling and this understanding that like, yo, if I put my time into this, if I study what I have to do and I actually actively go about this, it'll work out. And if you don't have that mentality going into 2026, if you don't catch on to your dreams for real before the end of this year, I don't know how next year is going to look for you unless you come through for the astrology 2026. You feel me? Nah, but for real. Outside of that, I will genuinely say that like the master degree of Sag has everything to do with trusting the guidance of your heart, right? I have one of my favorite games of all time, if anyone didn't know this, is excuse me, is Elder Scrolls Skyrim, because of course it is, right? Skyrim is the most Sagittarius game that has ever been made. But the reason why this is so important in terms of this is because in Skyrim, there's a spell that you kind of learn pretty early on, right? Whether you use it or not is up to you. But basically, this spell is like clairvoyance. And so you would activate it. There would just be like this stream of light that would basically start to show you where to go for your next objective, right? Now, you could follow it and follow it. And at a certain point, if you were in a cave or in a dungeon, it could just stop. It'll just kind of stop going where it needs to go. And instead of following this GPS route, this light that is guiding you forward, you then have to look around, assess your situation, and then see where you're going next. And you can't decide on this thing that was guiding you along. You can't like rely on this little intuitive fairy thing that's going forward and like, oh, I'm going where I have to go. You can't rely on that. When that happens and that thing stops to get you to where you need to go, you're the one that has to then decide how the rest of the adventure goes. You're the person that has to decide how the rest of the scenario unfolds. Do you just stop because the clairvoyant thing ends up ending, or do you start to look around? Oh, what did I reach? Oh, what's going on? Is there a boss battle over there? Is there some loot and treasure over this way? Oh shoot, there's all my friends. Like you have to kind of give yourself this perspective to where it's like your intuition can only guide you to the thing that is meant for you, but it's up for you to shoot the arrow at what it is that you actually want. Cool. I know it's been a minute stopping live, so appreciate y'all and the patience. I'm trying to get back to the constant hits of everything, you know. But to get a little bit further and to explain this even deeper, with Venus and Sagittarius here, it's not playing in a regular Venus and Sagittarius way either, right? So this is about aligning to your heart. This is about having to align that vision to your heart, right? 7 years ago, I decided I wanted to be an astrologer. And now I sit in front of you with a freaking wizard robe on, chilling, kicking it, being exactly who I kind of set myself out to be at the time. And then this will also advance into its own thing, right? But go ahead and look at my first video if you want, because this really shows you the full capacity of like just that full circle, that full vibe in terms of following the journey and not knowing where it's going. In my journey of being an astrologer, I have gone so many different directions. I have one of my homegirls, she works at Red Bull, but she ended up talking to me and she was just like, she saw me do something at some point this year when I was like chilling on everything else. She was like, I feel like you're the king of side quest. And I was like, oh, I am the king of side quest. Why? Because Skyrim is my favorite game. So I understand the premise that sometimes you have to step off the main path, right? And then sometimes you have to step off the main path in order to actually find a correct route for you. Because not every route works for every person. It's the reason why everyone has a birth chart. The advice I give to you about your 2026, the advice I give to you about your birth chart is going to be exclusive to the things that I'm seeing within it, right? And I think it's this specific exclusivity that doesn't get hit on in horoscopes like that, which is part of the reason why, if y'all haven't noticed on my newsletter, I switched all the horoscopes over to rising sign. And it's been a very interesting journey because I feel like the rising sign, this is a sidebar, but I feel like the rising sign is really what it is that we carry forward. I think it's how we relate back to ourselves. I think that's the reason why when I'm like, oh, shoot, I'm Chad, I'm not thinking of the fact that I'm a double Sagittarius. I'm feeling the fact of my rising sign, which is Aries, if y'all couldn't tell. But the idea in terms of why this is important and why I'm even mentioning all this close to this Venus, right? Get back to it. Venus isn't just the heart, it's also your commitment. And the reason why I say your commitment is because the asteroid Juno is here as well. This is the marriage asteroid, right? Not just marriage, but long-term commitment, anything that you want to spend a lot of time to kind of bearing the burden of like truly committing to what it is, right? And whatever that is that you commit to, especially if you love it, it's probably going to be a struggle, whether you love it or not. And that's just part of the nature of committing to something, of really like spending your time. Like there's sacrifices that have to be made towards what it is that you truly enjoy and what you truly want to go for. And this whole Sagittarius stellium is really just trying to open up the world of possibility to you. If you thought that you were in a box, you're not. If you thought that you were in this, like, I can only go so far, that's untrue. Unless that's what you make of it. Unless that's what you choose it to be. And I assume that if you're over here and if you're watching this and you're staying here to this point, you definitely want to make a big change in your life, or you at least know you have the capacity to make it. I'm just giving y'all the permission slip based off of these transits. That is go time, right? All the ruminating, all the sitting there, all the whatever else, especially with Mars and Capricorn, I just went there. It's go time. Make the thing. Make the vision board, 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 Pinterest, whatever it is that you need to do, vision board, mood board, vibe that out now. New Year's resolutions are BS. New Year's resolutions are trash. Why are we doing New Year's resolutions in the middle of winter? Now, whatever it is that you want to lock into this winter, I don't believe that winter time is just a time where you're supposed to not do anything. I disagree with that. I think, as a matter of fact, wintertime is a time frame where people are supposed to like do what their soul needs to express, not what their ego needs to express, right? I'm initially from the East Coast. Being on the West Coast is very different because like it's still sunny out, right? Beautiful thing. But on the East Coast, when I was growing up, especially, there was a very natural wave of like, hey, yo, we have 6 months of like happy-ish sunshine, good weather, and then it was like 6 months of like absolute resolute hell. So it'd just be like cold, no one wanted to do nothing, everyone had like a certain feeling or attitude. Like it was a very like known thing, and it was just something that happened every year, you know what I'm saying? Like it just part of the phase. So I'm sure if you live in a different climate, you probably understand that same bit. Like once it gets cold, it'd be cold for real. But all this to say, oh man, I had a point. The natural. Damn it. It was going to be so good. That's fine. I'll remember in a little bit. So, I don't remember the point for real. That sucks. I'm embarrassing myself in front of my friends. All right. But if someone texts me or says something in the chat, it reminds me back where I was a second ago. I got you. Speaking of, what's up, chat? Appreciate y'all for being here. This is very impromptu. I was like, if no one shows up, no one shows up. I need to get out of my own way and stop overthinking this and like sitting here quiet writing for like 3 hours about it, and I just need to talk to y'all real quick. So like, you know what I'm saying? Appreciate being able to tap back in with y'all. And if you were watching this afterward, please leave a comment about how you feeling this new moon in Sagittarius. Like I'm really curious. Or honestly, if you're going to be watching this back, I want y'all to comment, or even if you're in the live chat right now, how, thank you so much. But how 2025 has been for you. And what are you looking forward to be, I want to say becoming. What are you looking forward to being in 2026? What are you ready to embody for 2026? How are you going to embody your vision for 2026? Feel free to drop that below. But winter resolutions, thank you. So yeah, for the winter time, right? Wintertime is a time where like you have to be led by your soul's need, right? I know for a long time, at least for myself, when it got to those cold months, I used to be the most creative. I would make 3 songs a day, 3 songs a day, like producing. Back when I was doing music before, as a whole other lore story. If you're new here, I talk about it sometimes, but we'll get there another time. But basically, the whole concept is that like winter is when you have to get into here. The winter solstice is very much like opening this portal, so to speak, of resonance. It wants you to get back to what your soul is intending and not what your ego thinks it needs. And so, like I said, during those time frames, well, I would be really creative. I would just like spend a lot of time like doing that. In the summer months, I would be less creative, right? But I don't think the winter is to just like curl up in a ball and not do anything ever. Now, granted, maybe your productivity requires you to do that. Maybe you go so hard every other point that by the time it's winter, you want to let yourself hit the seasonal depression. This means nothing to people on the other side of the hemisphere, by the way. Happy summer to y'all. But like, you know what I'm saying? This is just like the kind of thought processes and Sagittarianness that I want to reflect back to you on this topic, right? Anyway, winter resolutions. Thank you for the time and knowledge, much appreciated. Nah, it's really like, thank y'all for holding space for me, like straight up. Like, thank y'all for holding space for me, because I've never been in a position where I've let myself stop for this long, and it's very unnatural. But I had to like take care and understand myself deeper as a man, as a human, as the mythical maverick in which you were seeing beforehand. And I had to come to terms with really like just what I think as myself, what I feel, like where and what I believe to be true. I've had to go through all of these cycles, and I've spent time working with different jobs, so many people trying to like stand and embody this newness that's coming in via my Saturn return. So I've been in the middle of the most difficult time. I'm not trying to quotate that to dismiss it by any means. I've been feeling it. Don't get me wrong. Right. But like for real, you know, it's been dope. You've been loving the newsletters. It's been helpful. I'm glad the newsletters have been dope. It's honestly something I used to be really, I don't want to say insecure about, but it was something that I didn't think would like land well, I felt like, for some reason. But honestly, I have so many of y'all like coming through. I think we have a little over 1,000 of y'all there. It's a blessing, man. Like it's such a blessing to just be able to like do that. So I'm glad that me putting out the newsletters have been able to like do that interim as I figure out this content game and more moving forward. So thank y'all for real. I appreciate you. Anyway, let me get back to the astrology right quick, right? Oops, wrong thing. Oh, buy stuff, I guess. Wasn't looking for that one either. This is what happens when you don't name your scenes. Name your scenes, okay? Anyway, so now that I've gotten that over, now I want to talk about the moon in Sagittarius, but as it relates to Saturn and Neptune right now, right? So, cool. As we can see, we have Neptune, Saturn, both in Pisces. Now, Neptune is going into Aries in a couple months. Neptune and Pisces is literally responsible for like content creation. Like content creation, I don't think existed before like Neptune and Pisces at all. I don't think there was like even like the when Neptune. Let me look this up. I want to be accurate about this, but I'm pretty sure when Neptune first went into Pisces, it was like let me check. Sorry, I do too many horoscopes. Neptune went into Pisces when. Remember how I said you can learn anything at any given point just off your phone? Welcome to this world of Sagittarian nature, right? And went in, oh yeah, April 4th of 2011, right? So I was correct. Like that didn't exist yet. When it was 2011, 2012, um, everything was still very Hollywoodified. Everything was very there was like a thing you had to get into a echelon, right? Because Neptune and Aquarius was like, in order for you to fulfill your dreams, you had to join like a posse, you had to be a part of a social club, you had to be a part of something in order to like start doing that. And Neptune and Pisces has just been like, hey, as long as you show up and give us the feeling of it all, it'll work out. And like that's never happened before. So Neptune about to leave Pisces now for good, if I'm not mistaken. This is the last time for you to like really dig deep, see what your dream is, and just do the fucking thing, man. I can't, there's nothing else I can say. Like you just have to do it. And I'm not trying to cuss too much. I know it's YouTube, but like, yo, I can't tell y'all from an outside astrology perspective how many times I've seen people like know exactly what it is that they want to do and just be like, I'd rather somebody else go do it, just to see whoever else go do it suck at what they do, right? And then it's just like awesome, like, yo, there's a theory and a concept that exists, and I'm paraphrasing, but essentially it's the idea that like the universe grants you an idea, let's just say, right? Hey, Maverick, you need to go live. Okay, I'm gonna go live. Now, let's say I didn't go live right now. There's a reason why I had to go live right now, right? Just followed it. Don't know. Sagittarius shit. Then I go live. And now let's say I chose not to. And then later on, I feel a little regret. And maybe it's the day of the new moon and I'm like, then stressing myself out like, I should have gave them more material. I should have given more content. Meanwhile, somebody else who may have just used like Chat GPT to just get the information, post their little content thing, they blow up and people are buying like their BS or something instead of somebody who's been doing this forever, right? And then I could sit there and be mad, or I could sit there and be like, yo, I disrespected the blessing that the universe and the world was trying to show me. And so I just gave it to the next folk who was willing to hear the actual message behind it. You know how many blessings people miss because of that? You like everything that's meant for you comes to you, but it doesn't mean it's going to land in your lap. It's still got to be within reach. You still got to do a little something. You still got to strive for a little something, right? I've just seen a handful of unambitious, trust fund ass, I think I'm doing a bunch of work as people in the last X amount of time. I feel jaded. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, damn, being born with a silver spoon ain't bad. Like when you think that you're doing like good and it's just like neutral level BS. We just from different worlds, you know what I'm saying? And I think even me being challenged by seeing that world is like, hey, can I still dislike things and still be a solid human? And that's been like my biggest challenge. I feel like this year, right? Is like feeling what I feel and still being able to respect the fact that like I don't necessarily gel with that, right? And why I'm mentioning this, because as I'm talking about Neptune again, right? Neptune and Pisces, I feel like when Neptune and the Pisces, I took a very spiritual, I think this is what I wanted to tie in. Took a very spiritual like approach to things. Like a very like healer and like love and light and like, wow, guys, we can all join together and do stuff. Like, if we all just work together, we can all be great. And do I still believe that? Yeah. Do I think it's going to happen at a realistic point immediately? Absolutely not. And I think what's happening is that, like, people's naivete, their their inability to see sometimes the reality in front of you, right? And it's embracing the reality in front of you where your dreams get to come true. And I think that's why I'm feeling so potent again, because Neptune and Aries is like, if you don't do your dream, it will literally eat you from inside out, right? And that's what the square of this moon is trying to kind of show, is that like there is a fog between this, all right, I'm ready to go, and like I don't know where that is yet. There's a fog there. I'm not going to sit there and deny that from you. That's the reason why I was trying to say that, like, yo, give it a couple weeks. You know what I'm saying? Give it even until the next full moon before you go crazy into what it is that it is, if you don't know what it is. But I feel like you do. Like everyone deep down kind of knows what it is they want to do and what they want to aim for. It's just like, are you going to be brave enough to shoot the arrow and follow it? Are you going to be brave enough to literally follow the rainbow to maybe find some gold at the end, right? That's neither here nor there, but something to think about. Anyway, getting back to the astrology right quick. And again, thank y'all for being here, listening to my rambles. I will be much more on point next time I go live. I'm again nervous too, standing up in 3, clicking the wrong thing. So here we are. Next thing to talk about, to kind of add to this, Saturn, right? So we have Saturn and Pisces here as well. Saturn and Pisces is also going to be going into Aries soon. But Saturn and Pisces is trying to question your belief, and I'm going to say in God, in the universe. Like, do you believe that there's a higher force that's assisting you? Do you believe that there's there's guides, there's ancestors, there's things that are like pushing you forward? That's what Saturn and Pisces really wants to kind of like highlight and do. And because of this, there's a real opportunity for you to find the devotion you're aiming for through just following what it is that you feel is your dream, that you feel is unattainable to you, right? And this is one thing I'm gonna point out. There's so many people, and this is we're programmed this way. There's so many people that I know, so where it's like, let's say, for example, you wanted to model. I'm just giving an example. You wanted to model. You weren't necessarily like particularly about what kind of model. You just wanted to model. And then you have a friend who may be conventionally 5% prettier than you, conventionally. And you might be in a situation and they're like, oh, we need a model for this. And how many people have you, I'm sure you've seen something like this, where the person who always wanted to do it is like, oh my God, you should go do the thing. I don't even want to model. It's not really my thing. Oh, but you'd be so great at it. Go do it. And then you watch somebody else fulfill your dream that don't even have the drive that you have, that doesn't even have the passion for it that you have. We are not doing that shit in 2026. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Take what's yours. Take what's yours. What is yours is your dream. If that came from you, that is your thing. Make that thing happen. Push it forward. Tap in. You don't know what the thing is? Come get a reading. I'll tell you. I can tell you what it is. I can show you what it is. We can sit down, go back and forth, and I can literally unearth that thing and show you in your face and be like, this is the thing. That's what I do. That's what I'm best at. But I do love also being able to talk to the collective, being able to tap in with all y'all. So appreciate y'all on that end as well. But anyway, let me just kind of finish up this astrology super quick. We have a lot more of that in the newsletter. I haven't posted it yet, but this will be involved with that by the time that goes to. The other thing I want to point out, Chiron and Eros are both making a trine to this north node. Wow, words. To this moon in Sagittarius as well. So this is why I'm getting a little on y'all. You got to feel through it, right? There is a need to address where it hurts, so you know how to advance forward, right? And the last thing to kind of point out with this too is that it's making an in conjunction to Uranus in Taurus. And I want to point this out because Uranus in Taurus and the new moon in Sag, I don't think you realize that you're one mistake away from achieving everything you want. And I said that on purpose. You are one mistake, perceived mistake. You are one perceived mistake or misstep or whatever the case is from literally probably achieving what you want. And you might be like, yo, it wasn't supposed to be this way. It was supposed to go the exact way my brain planned. Have you learned nothing from the stars? Right? It's not about what we think all the time. And sometimes things change up, they switch up, you get revealed a new avenue. Maybe you thought your dream was exactly this one thing, and 3 days from now, you're like, it's not that. And let that process be your process, right? As much as we talk about these transits, like we all have our personal processes on top of this. This is just the weather of what's going on for us, period, right? But aside from that, before I get too off kilter, how y'all feeling so far? If y'all in the live chat, make sure that you drop something down. I'm about to do some quick pulls in a second for just the new moon and Sag to kind of wrap this up. Getting used to being live again. I do want to do this for the new moons and full moons moving forward, but yeah, let me know how y'all feeling thus far. I do have to end this probably in the next 20 or so minutes, but I wanted to at least hop on, talk with y'all directly for a bit. It's been a hot minute. Matter of fact, I just had the Ace of Pentacles pop out. I was going to be like, what does the collective need to know? And as I was thinking that, we got the Ace of Pentacles that just came through, right? And the Ace of Pentacles is literally giving you the world. I think this new moon in Sag is that if you think the world is yours, it is. And if you think the world would be better in someone else's hands, then you've already let it slip. So are you going to let your world and your dream and the things that you truly desire go to something else? Or do you actually want it? Or are you actually going to hit your mark? Or are you actually going to get up and go do the thing about it? Are you going to feel it through? Are you going to make somebody else do it instead of you? Or do you want that fire? If there's a magic hand from the sky that wants to give you everything you want, are you going to immediately pass it to the next person? Hey, here's everything you want. Pass it to the next person. Everything you want? Or pass it to the next guy? Okay. No. I'm even shaking everything. Anyway, let me actually get to the rest of the cards. Appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for being here. And we're going to go by rising sign, right? I don't want to make this one too complicated. I also still not used to standing up while doing this, so we out here. All right, so we're going to start off with Aries rising, right? Matter of fact, now we're going to do that. I don't want to complicate it. Start off with Aries rising. Let's get it. So what's going on for Aries rising on this new moon in Sagittarius? Just from the cards, we have the extended newsletter that goes through each sign as well, just to let you know. So make sure that you subscribe to Under the Stars We Wander. Aries rising, we have the King of Wands. This is your time to put your dick on the table and let them know what you got. And the reason why I'm saying this just as a metaphor in terms of this, right? This is the need for you to embrace the fire as your divine birthright, right? As much as people have been like, oh, fire signs, they're so fiery, they're gonna say something odd, they're gonna burn the bridges and blah blah blah. Has this year been fun? No, because all the fire signs been like all year, you know what I'm saying? So with this being said, the King of Wands is trying to show you this new moon in Sag, trying to reinvigorate this idea and this need for you to like go off in your own direction and create your own kingdom built off of your passion. And that is the only route and the only way I could tell you that. And that's how I'm gonna leave it. That's gonna be for anyone with an Aries rising. I'm gonna do all the fire risings first and go from there. So for Leo rising, let's see what we got. For anyone with Leo rising, what's the word? We have the Seven of Pentacles. Leo, you're building something that's supposed to last you for a much longer time than you anticipated. But so you have to kind of like keep guard of it, keep watch of it, make sure that it still gets to grow. This really reminds me, Leo, that like the idea or the dream that you have, and I'm gonna talk about dreams a little bit more with this, right? Because the idea and the dreams that you have, Leo, there are crows and random things that want to get to your crop of what you're growing, right? So it really is up to you to sit there, stand, and kind of shepherd the whole situation to make sure that there isn't anything that ends up happening to what it is that you're growing, right? Something that I wanted to point out for Leo rising, especially, stay the course, keep it growing. It's going to build the way you want, but there are things that are going to try to get at it. So keep the course, stay the course, stay the course, stay the course. Perfect. And for Sagittarius rising, right? For Sagittarius rising, we have the strength card, Sag. I am underneath the impression that 50 Cent is a Sagittarius rising. I know some people thought it was a Scorpio rising. I think he's a Sag rising. The reason why I'm saying this, though, and to add to this, is because it's like the strength of being able to live in your truth is completely unbearable by those who live in deceit for their comfort. Oh, it's coming back to me. We're getting there. Anyway, the idea though, right, is that the strength card really does give this premise and this promise even that like you have the strength to knock things over, to push things, to push and shove. This is giving me very Jesus flipping the temple. It's giving it's giving revolution. It's giving let them know who you effing are. That's really what it is, right? The strength card I got for like the Leo, I'm sorry, for Sag rising is that like it's time to show up and show out and be a little boisterous. You better get the rest of this season's energy and carry that with you because that is your strength. So if you come into anything within this season that have been specifically profound for you, I think this is going to make a huge difference and impact. Just to let you know, right? All right, so that's a fire risings. We just got those done. Let's go to earth risings. Start off with Taurus. We're gonna keep it simple and rock them from there, right? Ooh, I lied. I take that back. We're going to water because I promised my Scorpio friend I would put y'all first. So I'm gonna start off with Scorpio here for water. Sorry, I did make that. I did say that, and he gonna watch this back and be like, "I thought you were gonna," because that's how my friends are. They do be dragging me. I love y'all though. I drag y'all back, so it's fine. It's love. So but for real, let's get to it. So for Scorpio rising, we'll start there and we'll keep it rocking. So for Scorpio rising, what you got? Scorpio rising, we have the Three of Wands. You're about to go out on a limb here and do something that you probably were kind of lying about. And the reason why I'm saying that, the energy that this is giving me is that it's like, yeah, man, and then I'm going to go outside and I'm going to get a job immediately at this place because I know the person. And you go to the door and they don't even let you in. And so you're like, ooh, they didn't even let me in. But like, oh, and then somebody just like walks by and the door is slightly open and you run up to it and you somehow meet the CEO. And then you talk to the CEO and you're like, hello, I snuck in here because I wanted a job. And he's like, I have a special project for you. That's the weird kind of thing I feel like is going on with you, Scorpio rising. Like, you try to poke your nose into something and I think it's diverting you. And what that's diverting you is actually the quest you're supposed to go on, right? Like, for Scorpio rising, when I talked about the dream and being like knowing where it was at specifically, I think you're going to find it by following something else. And then you're going to run into what it actually is behind that. So I hope that gives you a little bit more context if you felt like that part wasn't resonant to y'all specifically, right? For Cancer rising, new moon is Sag. Let's see what we got for y'all. For Cancer rising, we have the Eight of Cups. Emotionally, spiritually, you're going to have to walk away from it. You might not be gone. Correction. Emotionally, you got to walk away from it. You might physically be there. This is giving very job situation. There's like I think there's a part of you that's taking either work too serious. There's something that you've been taking entirely either to heart, too serious. It's been really like egging at you, and you just need to kind of like do your own thing. This reminds me of this one part of like the Spider-Man when it's like Miles Morales and he's like, I don't know. I think I'm gonna go do my own thing. Like there's, cause like genuinely speaking, you have to follow the facts. Correction, for anyone who has been following the facts that you have an emotional depth and have very specific like emotional needs that you are constantly telling people, you're gonna have to start to walk away from that. Like anything that's not letting you like feel the way you need to feel, you gotta like let go of it. You gotta find another route, another part. So I think for Cancer rising, it's like, what are you walking away from emotionally or checking out from emotionally so you could still make sure that things work in your favor, right? So I'm not saying like if you have a job, I'm not saying hey like quit that immediately or something. I'm not saying like anything along the lines of that, as much as it's like, I think y'all get me. Y'all feel me. Y'all know where I'm at. All right. So now we're gonna get over to Pisces rising, right? So for Pisces rising, let's see what we got. Pisces rising, we have the Five of Cups. It seems as though there are things that have worked in your favor, and there are a few things that you have to just let go. And I think the concept of this, Pisces, is that it's like with this new moon, you're also kind of being hit by the fog where you thought that like, oh, if I believed in the dream, everything would happen. I said believe in the dream, not in every single dream you ever had at the same time, right? Like people usually have like a Coraline dream and things that subsidiary it. Pisces, you are the dreamer. So you're like, oh, I have these 5 dreams. I want to be a painter, entrepreneur, illustrator, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, yes, you can do that, but putting the same amount of pressure of one dream onto multiple dreams is leaving it so you only have 2 things that are in the works. Whatever those 2 things are, Pisces, that you end up really boiling things down to is what you need to take with you into 2026. So if you're a Pisces rising, I need you to write down those 5 things you think about. And I need you to get rid of 3. Get rid of 3. Or keep 1. Or keep 2. Y'all get what I'm saying in terms of this, right? Like that's the real change that I feel like is coming through with this. Specialize a little bit more than you think, and things will work out better for you. Now I'm going to get to the earth signs. Sorry for making y'all wait, but that is your virtue. Let me stop. Let me see. All right. So now we're going to go over to Taurus rising. So for anyone that's in here with the Taurus rising, let's get this going, right? Taurus rising, you getting laid, yeah. Let me stop. But y'all might. Basically, we have the 2 of Cups here, right? And this really speaks to like a connection, a rekindling, a new kindling. Rekindling popped up for some of y'all. Rekindling. This is partnership. It doesn't inherently have to be romantic, but I'm making it romantic. So basically, y'all are going to be really tapped in and finding that one person. If you've been seeing someone, Taurus rising specifically, take them a little more serious, you know, like go on a date, give it a real shot. Don't like think about it hypothetically, you know, just like really like try your best to lead into the situation, because I think through partnership, everything that you're aiming for gets to take a next notch. You don't have to marry the person. You don't have to get into like a 10-year business tenure with the person, but follow that feeling. Okay. So for Virgo rising, let's see what we got. For Virgo rising, we have the 2 of Cups again. I'm gonna make sure that wasn't a misshuffle. If it was, it is what it is. Let's see what's going on. So for Virgo rising, all right, we have the Queen of Swords. Virgo, you are cleaning out house, huh? I see. Virgo rising, you are cutting out all of the people and the folks who ended up not actually following instructions. I feel like Virgo rising, y'all are kind of like on a warpath, low key. Don't know why I got that, but I'm just going to aim for it and trust it. Y'all kind of on a warpath. I think what's really been happening is that like y'all have just been fed up with the random stuff and details of this year. And y'all are just like in a certain, y'all were in a crash out mode, and now you're like, you want to know what? No, I'm gonna take one step back, and I'm only gonna make sure it's the people that deserve it. Now here's the thing, Virgo rising. Apparently a lot of people deserve that BS, right? But honestly, all that aside, Virgo, I think that there is this need for y'all to like be more pointed in terms of how you're aiming your sword, right? It's not about the big slash that cuts around all the enemies. It's like, this the slow knife. It's the, like y'all, it's the knife of truth. It's a knife of, you get the vibe. Like y'all are like trying to cut through all of it. It has been a minute, Tab. It's been nice to be here. I'm gonna try to make this more of a habit. Clearly, I am not used to doing this live thing in a hot minute, so please forgive me as I am slowly stumbling into it. But that is the point of this channel, is to show you the realness of how this all works. So if you've never followed your dream before, this is the awkward that it takes. And if you think I'm not being awkward, that goes to show that's how long it goes before it starts to work, right? But Virgo, yeah, no, they deserve the hands you're about to display to them. Respectfully, hit them with the details. All right, Capricorn rising. Capricorn rising. What we got for you? Capricorn rising. We have the Seven of Swords. Capricorn, y'all trying to pull a fast one. I feel like with the Seven of Swords, you are trying to pull a fast one on one of the ops. Capricorn rising. You're trying to. It's not about pulling a fast one as much as like, honestly, this reads as revenge. Like, I'm not gonna lie, for Capricorn rising, it kind of reads as like this, like, hey, I'm trying to like really go in and mess up their camp, mess up their etc. And I feel like for you, Capricorn, either you're burning or you're getting burnt, so to speak. This is you trying to or having to like chill. There are shifty things about. Don't involve it. Don't jump into it. If there's somebody who wants to get you involved with that BS, please don't fall for it. Because it's the type of situation that like they'll start and then at the end try to blame you for. So like Capricorn rising, if you have been being pissed off or in that mode, in that zone, just take 2 steps back. You don't need to do all that. Don't let them get you messed up, especially before your season. Don't let them do that. Okay, just want to let you know and be straight up with it. All right. So now for the air signs. Last but not least, let's go with Gemini rising, right? So for Gemini rising, here we go. We have the Page of Wands. So Gemini, you are literally finding this new lane and avenue to what you want to do. Unlike, I think, a lot of the people that may be watching this for Gemini rising specifically, you are just trying out the main part to the big scale dream that you have. Whereas I have like for like Aries rising, it's like, it's go time, no more excuses. This is you finding that same part to that and then being like, this is actually what I enjoy. Let me play within it. Let me like see what this is about, right? This is kind of like taking an internship for free, but doing something that like you never thought that you could ever do. This is the kind of feeling that I have for you, Gemini rising. Stay curious, ask questions, be in people's faces when you need, but like following the passion is going to show you everything that you need to know, just to let you know moving forward. All right, Libra rising. See what we got for y'all. Cool. Libra rising, we have the 5 of Pentacles. Y'all are down for the count right now. Libra, this reads to me like a breakup of sorts. This reads to me like there's a connection that you thought was supposed to lead you forward that severed, or it's not doing exactly what you planned for it to do the first time. And the other card that was underneath that as I pulled it was the 4 of Cups. Actually, I feel like Libra rising, like you're in a dark night of the soul situation, but you know that the light is coming through, you just don't know when. I hate to break it down like that, but it is one of those circumstances where like for y'all Libra, it's like being down on your luck in terms of like what you thought was supposed to be connectivity is actually going to lead you to the right people, the right person, the right groups that are going to actually meet you halfway instead of you having to meet them all the way where they're at and wanting and begging them to kind of see it from your perspective. You're not doing that in 2026. So I know things are a little bit tough right now. Hold it out until this new year and things are going to actually make a shift by that point. All right. So for Aquarius rising, this is the last one for today. For Aquarius rising, we have the Temperance card. It looks as though Aquarius rising, y'all have been actually integrating the emotional world as well as your intellectual world, and that's been giving you a lot more favor when it comes to what it is that you're trying to aim for. I feel like whereas you might have been a little bit more temperamental before, this is you actually like tempering the feeling, and you're actually and really like understanding like, oh, this is a part of my process. Like you're slowly understanding the new moon and Sag lesson because this is the Sagittarius card. So the temperance part is like, it's kind of similar to how I was trying to like encapsulate what was going on in the world all at the beginning of this video. Like you're kind of finding peace or your peace within that mush and that chaos of what's going on. So just something to keep in mind for y'all Aquarius. Like y'all finally reaching this cool even keel level. So yeah, that's fire. But just to let y'all know one more time, I know a lot of y'all been waiting for the live stream card pulls. I'm not doing the card pulls live anymore because I want to keep these lives a little bit more tight, a lot more off the cuff. I really just want to like do stuff like this a little bit more. And I will say though, what I ended up doing instead, right, is that I don't know if I click this right now. I could, let's get it. I do have the personalized card pull options though. So basically when it hits its peak, I think technically on the 20th, that's the date that I have. But pretty much I want to give y'all time to schedule the upcoming reading ahead of time and to have the cutoff time frame be like the date where it hits its peak for real. That's my idea, and that's the goal that I have towards this, just so we can end up doing that. And plus, when I end up reading for people individually, I know that sometimes some people didn't want to go and do the live stream reading because they were dealing with sensitive information that they didn't want on YouTube, and I completely understand that. So this is kind of being able to mitigate that and just go straight to y'all about what it is that your stuff is saying. So this is a new option that I'm putting up there, and I'll be changing it for every new moon and full moon just to give you that opportunity. So it'll only be up for like the week of that upcoming lunation, so it's not an all the time thing. If you want to get anything else in that time frame, I definitely do have my other options. The soul freaking code session that I have right now is honestly a stupidly underrated deal. Please pull through for that if you have the time. It's about like 90 minutes to 2 hours of info, and you get an ebook on you. Like this, the value is insane, and I'll just love doing it. So please pull through for that as well, because like as much as I do love making content and tapping in with y'all like this, meeting with y'all one-on-one has actually become my favorite part to this, to be honest. Now I think about it. Yeah, so if you want to sit down and consultate, spend an hour or some change with me, learning everything that you need for the rest of your life through your chart specifically, come through. Aside from that, the newsletter will be coming out tomorrow probably. So the newsletter will be out. I'll have the extended part with the rising signs, and then I also will be pinning in this fun thing. And just to let y'all know, if y'all do end up getting an ebook from me, this is the general vibe that I have for them, but it'll just be specifically to your vibe, to have different themes, different colors, different ways to like make it personal to you. But that's what I've been working on. And I know there's a few that have gotten the readings, and I'm circling back to make sure that I finish those up for y'all, and should have that done by the new moon as well. So for anyone who does want to come through for some newness, pull up. Aside from that, much love to you all. Thank you all for being here. After this live stream's over, please drop a comment below. I just want to know who was in here for the stream. Just showing love, So aside from that, appreciate y'all. Love y'all. I got more things I gotta go do today, because of course I do. But it was just really nice to be able to sit with y'all and like astrologize and yap for a bit, I'm gonna go enjoy my new moon. I hope that you enjoy it too.